Lisa had been single for a while, and one night she decided to try a dating app called Heartstring. It was marketed as for serious connections, with an emphasis on matching people who were looking for something real. She wasn't expecting much, but it didn't take long for someone to catch her attention, a guy named Ethan. Ethan was strikingly handsome in his profile photo, with piercing green eyes and a faint, mysterious smile. His bio was simple but intriguing, looking for someone forever. They started chatting, and he seemed almost perfect. He was attentive, always asking questions about her life, her dreams, her fears. There was something intense about his messages, but Lisa brushed it off as passion. She enjoyed the way he seemed to be deeply interested in her. After a few days, Ethan suggested they meet in person. He chose a bar just outside of town, an old spot with a rustic feel that he said would be perfect for a quiet night. Lisa hesitated, feeling a small prick of doubt. But she shrugged it off. After all, they'd been talking for days, and she wanted to finally meet him. The night of their date, Lisa arrived at the bar and looked around, expecting to see Ethan. But the place was nearly empty, save for an older man nursing a beer at the far end of the bar. She texted Ethan to let him know she was there, but got no reply. Minutes passed. She started to feel uneasy. As she was about to leave, the older man approached her, glancing nervously over his shoulder. "Are you waiting for someone named Ethan?" he asked quietly. Lisa felt a shiver. "Yes. How did you know?" The man looked around the empty bar, his voice barely above a whisper. "You should be careful. I've seen girls come here waiting for him, and they don't come back." Lisa's stomach turned. She forced a laugh, trying to keep her voice steady. "Are you saying he's dangerous?" The man hesitated. "I don't know the details, but I've seen this happen before. The same name, the same setup. They wait, and then they're gone." He looked at her with genuine concern. "Go home. Trust me." Lisa felt a rush of fear, but she tried to shake it off as paranoia. She left the bar feeling unsettled but unsure what to believe. She went home, locked the doors, and tried to forget about it. But the next day, curiosity got the better of her, and she decided to do some digging. She searched for stories about people named Ethan who used dating apps and stumbled across a chilling news article from 2 years ago. The article detailed the case of a man named Ethan who had posed as a charming, mysterious figure on multiple dating apps, luring young women into meetings where they'd mysteriously disappear. According to the story, he was a wanted fugitive, his last victim still missing. His signature move was choosing isolated locations and leaving no trace of himself behind. Lisa felt her heart race as she read further. The photo of the suspect looked exactly like the Ethan she'd been messaging, the same green eyes, the same dark hair, even the same faint smile. Horrified, she blocked his profile and deleted the app, hoping that would be the end of it. But that night, her phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. "Blocking me doesn't change anything, Lisa. I'll see you soon." She froze. She hadn't given him her phone number, hadn't shared her real name. Panic gripped her. She double-checked her locks and tried to convince herself it was all a coincidence. Over the next few days, her fear grew as she kept receiving messages from him. Each one was more unnerving than the last, containing personal details about her life, where she worked, her favorite coffee shop, even the route she took home. She went to the police, but with no physical proof of a threat. They could do little more than advise her to be cautious. One evening, as she walked home, she felt someone watching her. She quickened her pace, glancing over her shoulder. In the distance, she saw a man, his face partially hidden by the shadows, his green eyes shining in the dim light. She ran, heart pounding, not stopping until she was safely inside her apartment, locking every door and window. She hid in her bedroom, clutching her phone with shaking hands, terrified to look at it. But when it buzzed, she couldn't resist. "You can run, but I'll always be close. See you soon." The police finally tracked him down days later, lurking near her apartment. When they arrested him, he admitted to following her for weeks, learning her habits, her routines, and carefully crafting his messages to draw her in. He was a wanted predator with multiple victims who had never been found. Lisa never used a dating app again. But even now, years later, she still sometimes feels the weight of eyes watching her in crowded places, hears the phantom buzz of her phone at night, and remembers his final message. "I'll always be close."